Hi friends, welcome to the channel. I used to struggle with this, tried many things. This book helped. This video is for anyone who feels inner discomfort, confusion, self-doubt, emotional pressure, or that quiet question of, what am I doing with my life? Today we are talking about Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, a book that stays with you because it speaks to real life, not perfect life. Take a breath, and let's begin. Most people do not fall apart because life is hard. They fall apart because life feels pointless. You can handle stress at work, family drama, and setbacks, but when you cannot find a reason behind the effort, everything starts to feel heavy. In Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl describes what happens when the usual comforts and identities are stripped away, and what is left is the raw question of meaning. You do not need extreme circumstances to relate. You can feel the same emptiness in a normal week. You wake up, answer messages, do tasks, eat, scroll, sleep, repeat, and you feel like you are disappearing inside your routine. A useful insight from Viktor Frankl is that meaning is not something you find like a hidden treasure. It is something you build through the way you respond to life. You cannot always control what happens, but you can choose your stance. That sounds simple, but it changes everything. If you think your mood depends on your boss, your partner, or the market, you will always be reacting. If you remember there is a small space where you can choose your next move, you start to feel human again. Here is what that can look like. Imagine your manager sends a cold message. The old pattern is panic, anger, or self-hate. A better pattern is to pause and ask, what is the best response I can give right now? You can clarify the task. You can fix what you can fix. You can set a boundary calmly. In Viktor Frankl's view, that choice is not small. It is you protecting your inner freedom. That inner freedom is not loud. It is quiet. It is a decision you make before you speak, before you send the reply, before you turn your stress into a fight at home. Another common problem is suffering that feels unfair. People ask, why me? Why now? Why is this happening when I am trying? Man's Search for Meaning does not pretend suffering is good. It shows that suffering is part of life, and the question becomes what you do with it. If you cannot remove the pain, you can still choose the meaning you attach to it. That does not erase the hurt, but it can stop the hurt from destroying your character. Think about a family situation. Maybe you have tension with a parent. Every call becomes a test. You feel judged, you get defensive, and later you replay the conversation for hours. A practical mindset shift is to stop trying to win the moment and start trying to become the kind of person you respect. Instead of, how do I prove I am right? You ask, how do I show up with patience and clarity? Viktor Frankl would say you can turn a painful situation into a place where you practice who you want to be. That is meaning in action. It is not abstract. It is how you handle the next call. The book also reminds you that meaning can come from three simple directions in life. One is what you create or contribute. Another is what you experience and who you love. The third is the attitude you choose when life is hard. You do not need to label these or memorize them. Just notice how different your day feels when you have even one honest responsibility, one real connection, or one brave decision. For example, if you feel lost, do not ask, what is the meaning of my life, like it is one big answer. Ask, what is one meaningful thing I can do today? It could be finishing one task you keep avoiding. It could be taking care of your body for 30 minutes. It could be sending a message to a friend you have neglected. It could be making something, even small, that you are proud to sign your name to. Viktor Frankl points you away from endless thinking and toward concrete responsibility. Meaning often arrives after action, not before it. A lot of people also get trapped in chasing pleasure as a substitute for meaning. They scroll to avoid silence. They buy things to feel alive. They jump from one distraction to another and then feel worse. Man's Search for Meaning quietly warns that when you chase happiness directly, it slips away. But when you aim at something meaningful, happiness can show up as a side effect. In everyday life, this looks like choosing the hard conversation instead of avoiding it. Choosing the gym instead of another hour online. Choosing to learn a skill instead of complaining. None of this is dramatic. It is steady. Another real-life shift is to stop waiting for life to become easy before you start living. Many people delay their life. When I get the job, then I will relax. When I fix my relationship, then I will be confident. When I move, then I will be happy. Viktor Frankl pushes you to see that life is asking something from you right now. Not tomorrow. Right now. Even in a messy season, you can still act with dignity, with care, with courage. That is a kind of meaning that cannot be taken from you. If you are dealing with self-doubt, try this simple practice inspired by Viktor Frankl. When your mind says, "I can't handle this," change the question to, "What is the next right step?" Not the perfect plan, not the final outcome. The next right step. Then do it. Your confidence will not come from thinking. It will come from the evidence you build through small actions. Man's Search for Meaning is not a book you read once and forget. It is a lens you can use on normal days when you feel irritated, tired, or unsure. It reminds you that your life does not need to be perfect to be meaningful. It needs you to show up and choose well, again and again. And that choice, even when life is uncomfortable, can give you a kind of calm strength. If this video helped you, please like it and subscribe to the channel. We have more simple, grounded book breakdowns coming next in the same calm style. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one.